Hello, good morning. I hope we're not going to have any Wi-Fi issues. If it's buffering, let me know, but it is pouring down rain. Just icky, nasty weather here today. Kind of drained my energy and I slept in. But I was up late last night and I've really been looking at these wildfires or man-started fires, whatever they are in California. They're causing people to evacuate in LA right now. Many people are without power. It's not cool. I have many beloved in California. I love my people there, and my heart goes out to them. So today, October 11th, for our daisies, says the trouble with many people is they stop much faster than they can start. Isn't that the truth? I had to pull myself out of bed this morning. I was up late and the rain. I just wanted to stay under my blankets with Buster. He came and joined me, and we were just thinking about staying in bed all day, but I had to make myself get up. So, in the Woman's Book of Courage, asking to be nurtured. Sometimes we have to ask for our help, right? No matter how old or mature we are, there are times when we need to be nurtured as if we were a child. 6 months after my mother's death, I was frustrated and worried by some snags in the publishing of my first book. In order to meet a crucial deadline, I needed to call the typesetter. I was 9 digits to the telephone number when I realized I was calling my mother's number. Crying and trembling, I understood my inner child was in despair and said to my husband, I'm about 4 years old right now, and I need my mommy. Would you please hold me? He did, and my little girl sobbed out her frustration and grief. When our inner child reaches out and asks for solace, we must find someone who can respond lovingly. We need to be clear. It is our inner child who needs support. It was easier for my husband to hold and comfort a sobbing 4-year-old than it would have been for him to console a near hysterical adult. We know how to nurture kids, and we are not as afraid of their feelings as we might be of adults. Just because we live in an adult body doesn't mean we don't experience childlike feelings. Having the courage to ask for the nurturing we need helps us move through our feelings more quickly and effectively. I recognize, so our mantra, our affirmations for the day, our affirmations. We recognize our inner child's need to reach out for comfort. We give ourselves permission to ask for comfort and solace. We love our needy inner child. That's beautiful. I like these ones about the inner child. That is my focus. Because if we are not healing our inner child, then it's going to stay wounded. Absolutely going to stay wounded, huh? So, in the language of letting go, recovery, October 11th. How easy it is to blame our problems on others. How many do that? I used to do that so bad. Look at what he's doing. Look how long I've waited. Why doesn't she call? If only he'd change, then I'd be happy. Often our accusations are justified. We probably are feeling hurt and frustrated. In those moments, we may begin to believe that the solution to our pain and frustration is getting the other person to do what we want or having the outcome we desire. But these self-defeating illusions put the power and control of our life in other people's hands. We call this codependency. The solution to our pain and frustration, however valid, is to acknowledge our own feelings. We feel the anger, the grief, then we let go of the feelings. Buster. Then we let go of the feelings and find peace within ourselves. We know our happiness isn't controlled by another person, even though we may have convinced ourselves it is. We call this acceptance. Then we decide that although we'd like our situation to be different, maybe our life is happening this way for a reason. Maybe there is a higher purpose and plan in play, one that's better than we could have orchestrated. We call this faith. Then we decide what we need to do, what is within our power to do to take care of ourselves. That is called recovery. It's easy to point our finger at another, but it's more rewarding to gently point at ourselves. Today, I will live with my pain and frustration by dealing with my own feelings. Absolutely. That was a good one. I like that too. We absolutely have to honor our feelings. Last night I was out there dancing and singing to the moon, manifesting healing for all hearts all over the world. Beautiful that people could just reach out and help out one another and stop all this man-made destruction. It's unbelievable what's going on in the world today. Simply unbelievable. I can't even hardly stand it anymore. And it's only just begun. October 11th until today, I will realize my own worth. We will realize our own worth when we accept that we already know the answers to the questions we are afraid to ask. Questions are wonderful. Questions open the mind and the heart to new levels of awareness. Questions support our steps toward growth, healing, and evolution. They give us something more to reach for and more things to consider as we reach where we are going. Questions enliven our innocence. They also solidify our wisdom. While we may think questions bring us answers, the truth is the answer is always within the question. How do you know when it's time to leave a place, an experience, or situation? One sure sign is that you are asking the question. Chances are that by the time you ask the question, you already know the answer. If you are asking if you should leave, here are some more questions you may want to consider. How does being where you are make you feel? What is it that you desire to feel? What is the experience you hope to have if you stay? Is there another place in which you could have a better experience? Does having a better experience depend on anyone else? Why have you given someone else control of your power, your joy? How can you give to yourself what you are expecting from someone else? Why haven't you done it up to now? Very often, the question we must ask ourselves is not, is it time for me to leave? Rather, the question is, how can I stay and create a better experience for myself? An even better question is being where I am worth the effort it takes to stay? Until today, you may have been waiting for someone to make something happen to make your experience better. Just for today, be devoted to uncovering any fear, resistance, or unwillingness to make it happen for yourself. So today we are devoted to asking questions of ourselves and recognizing the answers we already know. Thank you so much for the likes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So we're going to jump back here to the forgiveness month, which was June. And we are working now on forgiveness. Still on ourselves. Hello, good morning. Good morning. We're now willing to forgive ourselves for all the time we have refused to follow divine orders. Psst, come closer. This message is for you. It is a message intended to make you feel a lot better about yourself. It is a message from the angels and the good spirits of life. The angels and good spirits of life are asking that you stop beating up on yourself for what you are doing or not doing. The angels asked, so we have to listen. In other words, they don't like it. They are also aware that it doesn't make you feel too good either. The angels and the good spirits of life have heard the things you have said to yourself and about yourself. They are simply appalled. They know that if you could have, you would have. They know that when you can, you will. The angels and the good spirits of life would help you if you will allow them to. They also understand that when you feel bad enough, you will ask for help. It doesn't have to be that way, but the angels and good spirits are aware that you have a few trust issues that require healing. In the meantime, they have issued a divine order that you cease and desist all forms of self-criticism, self-judgment, self-flagellation, self-punishment, and self-destructive behavior. The angels and the good spirits of life forgive you for partaking in such self-dishonoring behavior in the past. Now they want you to forgive yourself and stop it. Until today, you may have spent a good portion of your day beating up on yourself for all the things you did not do to your satisfaction. Just for today, forgive yourself for the way you have treated yourself. So today we are devoted to following the divine order to cease and desist all forms of self-criticism and self-judgment. Because really, in reality, the only sin that we are ever committing when we don't honor and love ourselves, the first reading, if you missed it, you should go back and listen because it all went together out of the Woman's Book of Courage, was honoring your inner child, your wounded inner child. And sometimes you need to just say, I need help. Hold me. I'm scared. And you have to be able to lay down the ego and the pride. Thank you so much for the likes. So we're doing our inner peace for busy people. Asking for help. Here we are again. It all flows together. Asking for help when you need it seems like a no-brainer. It is an obvious strategy for self-care. But can you let go of control long enough to actually receive the help you need? A lot of busy people can't. They're damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, I'm in charge here, operating style tends to stop would-be helpers in their unsuspecting tracks. As an example, it was a busy day at the clinic many years ago. By mid-morning, we were all pooped up to our ears in charts to fill out, research to write up, and patients to see. So I volunteered to make a run to the cafeteria for coffee. When I got into the elevator on the way back, both my hands were full. Several other people also stepped in, and I had a fleeting thought of asking someone to push the button for our floor. But the moment of sanity passed, and I pushed the button with my nose. An elderly woman remarked, "Good God, my dear, you could have asked for help. That's an important thing, you know." Some of us don't like to ask for help at all. I'm like the Neo Miss Independent song. I was just starting to learn. Many busy and efficient people, like many busy and efficient people, I liked doing things myself. It seemed easier than asking someone else. And if you do it yourself, you always know that the job will get done just the way you want. Absolutely. But an insidious problem takes root because you rarely ask for help and often refuse it when it's offered. The people around you gradually stop asking. You get exactly what you asked for, the opportunity to work yourself to death. Inevitably, resentment builds up. As in, am I the only one who ever gets anything done around here? How many women say that when they've got a house full of people? A few years ago, I was given a weekend workshop when I was gifted with another lesson on accepting help. On Saturday afternoon, the room we were using had to be cleared out for another program. I had a lot of supplies to pack and schlep up the long hill to my room. No problem. Busy people come well prepared, and I had brought along a suitcase on wheels. One of the attendees offered to help me clean up and cart away the supplies. I politely declined, stating the obvious. Thanks, but I don't really need any help. I have a suitcase with wheels. She still could have took some help cleaning up, huh? The woman stood there with her hands on her hips, shaking her head and tapping her foot. Joan, you don't get it, do you? This isn't about wheels. It's about accepting help. And accepting help is about feeling like you're worth it, which you are. Now get with the program. We trudged up the hill together while I clenched my hands behind me to stop from grabbing the suitcase. It was clear that I had a serious control issue. To make matters worse, the Good Samaritan insisted on coming to my room the next morning so she could wheel the suitcase back to our meeting room. Her parting words found their mark. You speak so eloquently about kindness. Remember that letting people help you gives them an opportunity to be kind. Refusing to help is a subtle kind of selfishness. You know, I wondered why that obvious fact had escaped me for so long. Being a control freak extends beyond the inability to ask for help. For example, I have a friend who likes her bottles of vitamins lined up in a specific order. Her husband, who could not fathom this esoteric system, always messed up the order. They used to have fights about it. Oh, yes, I know all about that kind of orderliness. To keep the peace, the couple finally decided to buy 2 sets of vitamins, his and hers. Go figure. It's important to pick your battles wisely if you want a peaceful life. It's also important to maintain your perspective. Ask yourself how vital the order of the vitamins really is. Is it worth the fight? I would have bought my own vitamins too and had my own little area. But that's just me. My personality is a very orderly personality. Humorist and author Loretta LaRoche uses a set of props to demonstrate how different cognitive distortions drive us crazy. A Viking hat with horns represents the control freak. She suggests that if you have that tendency, you can buy yourself a similar hat and wear it when the mood strikes. For example, my friend could don the horns and swoop into the kitchen like a commanding general to confront her husband. Get out of the way, you slob, and let me show you how to organize those bills. I wouldn't say it like that. Loretta's point is that the very idea of acting like a crazed conqueror is so funny. Once you appreciate your bizarre behavior, that you may actually be able to stop before you give yourself a stroke. I wish I could say that my horns were in mothballs, but I still like to be in charge. Short of another 100 years in therapy, that's unlikely to change. But I have learned to take it lightly, bite my tongue upon occasion, choose my battles wisely, and ask for help even when it's a struggle. This week, focus on giving and receiving help. If you have trouble asking for the assistance you need, then practice. It's easier than learning to play the piano. 3 times a day, even if you have to invent a reason, ask someone to help you. Try asking for directions, even if you know the way. If they're lousy, you're doubly blessed. You might really have been lost, so you can be grateful you know where you are. Plus, you've provided a stranger with an opportunity to be kind. If you tend to expect too much from others, practice giving help. 3 times a day this week, offer to be helpful without being asked. Open the door for someone. Bring a cup of coffee or a cold drink to a coworker or loved one. Ask the people around you if there's anything you can do for them. You'll be amazed by how much more receptive to your request they'll be in the future. And that is a really good one because very often we have a hard time asking for help. We also have a hard time offering help. And the funny thing is, when I see someone struggling and they're walking a long distance with some bags, and I'm going the same way, and I've said, "Can I help you?" People reject it. They say, "Oh no," and I see them struggling. And my grandma, I'm going to use my 83-year-old grandma. I think probably one of the hardest things for the elderly to humbly admit that they need help. After my grandma, she's been single her whole life. She's a handy woman. She has drills. She did her landscaping. She did everything. She ran a bread and breakfast at one point. She worked at the University of Illinois for the students in the benefits center for the employees all her life until she was like 70 and retired. Maybe not 70, but close. And so for her to ask for help, she's got degenerative disc disease. She's got this huge, heavy desk. I'm standing right there, and she's trying to push the desk to the wall. And I'm like, let me do that for you. Why? Why can't you? It has to be probably the most humbling experience to be deteriorating, literally, to be going back to your infancy, toddler period where you're going from walking and talking back to diapers, and then you have to ask people for help again. So my own grandma won't even do it. And I just have to say, I can't imagine what all she's doing when she has no one there, because I've told her she better not be climbing up on the ladder. And then I turn around and catch her climbing up on the ladder. So I've asked her if she had a belt and told her I would hate to have to get it out, because she just won't listen. And I'm really afraid she's going to hurt herself. She's got that surgically implanted pain thing with the growth hormone or whatever in it. And now her back is in worse shape than it was before she had this surgery. So it's very, very humbling to have to ask for help. And to say, yes, I need it. When someone offers, just say thank you. It's like taking compliments. People are offering to help you. Why would we push it away? Why would we deny the help? Why would we? It's because we're not used to getting it. One of my big things was when I had my own apartment after my ex-husband and stuff, I had I wanted to pay all the bills, and I didn't want a man being able to ever kick me out of a place. I wanted my own place, and I didn't want, and look at what happens later in life. So do I have trust issues? Absolutely I do. I don't ever want to feel, because when people help me, and because people, when they often have helped me, throw it in my face later, well, I did this and this and this, and look at this and this and this. I'll just say I don't want anything from anybody that is ever going to throw that stuff in my face later. So we have trust issues. We don't want people doing things for us that we're going to have to hear about it for the rest of our life. That's not true help. That's not doing it from your heart. That is doing it so that they can. I started rejecting that kind of help. I don't want anything from anybody if they're gonna use it to their advantage to condemn me later. So I will show this later, because I doubt Lily's here right now either, or anybody. This is my little dog, Marley May. And that's when she was a very young girl. So she gets a little haircut, and she's trimmed up real sweet and cute now. And she probably isn't wearing a sweater in Nevada unless it's got cold. The temperature dropped. Is everybody? Yeah, she's so cute, isn't she? She's just a little girl. And that little dog I saw at my grandma's the other day, his name is Roscoe. And I think we're going to try to make some dog treats, because he's got, no, his name's Rusty. And he's got his paws, he can't even put his weight on him. And he's like a little Shih Tzu, just like her. He reminded me of her in the face because she's a Brussels Shih Tzu mix, Brussels Griffon, and her little underbite. And he looked just like her in the face. And the woman next door to my grandma had her dog out there, and he can't even walk. You can see him balancing him his weight and picking up his paws because his arthritis is so bad. So I think we're going to try to make some dog treats with CBD in them because if it's helping people's pain and just put, just enough in there. It's all kind of like science, making your own stuff and playing with stuff like we're healing chemists, not the big farm sorcery type of people, but healing medicines. So I think it's going to be very beautiful if we can get that dog walking again. Yes, yes, I know it. I know it. So my mom is making her CBD oil, and it's really helping people. So, and we just order this stuff right from, hold on, I'll show you. CBD is from Black Tie. That's the new sticker. They sent me a new sticker, and it tells you exactly how much is right on the jar there. Some of them are grown indoor, some are outdoor. I do prefer the outdoor, but I mean the indoor. And look at, like, this isn't a really good camera, but this is like really high. Yeah, absolutely. Kratom too. Yes, yes. And this one is bubblegum indoor, and it's hemp. You can get it literally. It's CBD hemp, and you can get it right online, delivered from Oregon, totally legal because it's hemp. It's absolutely hemp. Bubblegum, and I got one called the Jack, which is like Jack Herer. Jack Herer is one of the high CBDs. Great for pain, great for anxiety. Look up ones that, because elderly people like my grandma, who does not smoke pot at all, don't want the psychoactive effects. And I don't like to be high all the time. I don't like to be not coherent. I don't like to be spacey. I definitely don't like the ones that give me munchies because I do fasting, usually until 7 p.m. So from the time I go to bed until 7 p.m., I just have usually a window between. I start sometimes at 6 or 6:30. It depends how the day's going, but I don't want those psychoactive effects nearly as much as I like the medicinal purposes and the medicinal qualities. Excuse me. So it's very important to be able. OMAD. What does that mean? Maybe I'm confused. Is it a slang for something? Oh, yes, yes. I do intermittent fasting, and I've really, like, my mom made these little chicken things. Chicken is really like the only meat I really eat anymore. Although my Lakota sister told me to have a bison burger on the full moon. So I guess I'm supposed to eat some red meat, is what she said. I've really listened to. She has helped me so much. But I actually, in one of my videos, I showed. I'll have to show them again. I'm doing some amazing grass. It's called Amazing Grass, and it's wheatgrass and barley and all of these grasses, and it tastes like grass. I'm not even gonna lie. It's super green. But I got one little packet, and you put a teaspoon of this grass and mushroom mixture. Another one is organic greens and proteins, and the other one is green superfoods and detox. And so I've been doing that shake. And then I don't deny myself entirely a sweet, or like my mom's got these little Take 5 Reese's, and they're peanut butter with Take 5 in it. And so I'll have one of those. I'm really, like, sugar is that's probably my biggest one. So I don't deny myself those things, but I limit myself to what I have. Or I got those little Kind bars. But I really try to stay out of the kitchen and hide. My parents smoke, and there's always donuts and junk food and all of that stuff. So like this one's coconut and almond, and they had a pumpkin spice one out now that's loaded with almonds, and it's gluten free. It's got and it's something sweet that still is full of healthy stuff. 32% nuts and 26% fruit. So it's something at least that I can do that. But I've really started a detox and cleanse. I started putting the diatomaceous earth in there last night. That really cleans you out. It's I'm working with trying to detox and get rid of any. And as I'm still drinking coffee, but I'm really, really becoming aware of the things that I put in me. I don't hardly take any dairy products anymore. I've noticed that like my stomach doesn't digest dairy as easily as it actually does not digest very well. It bloats me up to where I'm in excruciating pain. It's awful. So I'm really doing this shake. I really want to do some of the combo again, which is that Amazonian tree frog poison, and I have some that came straight from Peru, but I need somebody to assist me in doing it because it makes you very, very ill. You puke and you're literally cleaning out your entire system, and you're dizzy and you can't hardly stand up. I get very lightheaded and faint easily anyway because of fasting. So that is why it's so important that I take all of my vitamins and minerals, speaking of which I need to do, and make sure I get my B vitamins, my magnesium citrate, and things like that, because it's very, very important that when you fast and you're not putting all of the nutrients, when you're not getting all that stuff, it's very important that you still, especially women who still have, like I take a vegan iron pill and stuff like that, because I don't eat a lot of red meat. I don't eat any red meat really. And I don't eat pork at all anymore. But I do get a lot of my protein, like I get at Aldi. They have these bags of nuts that are mixed, like raw, that are simply nature, uh, not even have any salt in them, like walnuts. One's a mixture of macadamia walnuts and gosh darn it, pistachios, which actually produce melatonin and help you go to sleep. So when my mom and I are looking up the benefits of all this stuff, and when people like my dad say, how are you going to, oh yeah, seafood. I've never been big on seafood. Never have. I could tell, right? But I'm a texture person. So it's the texture of lobster and shrimp in my mouth that makes me spit it out. Like even when I did eat meat, if it had any fat on it, I could feel it and I would spit it out right away. So, but people will say, how are you still getting your protein? And we can still get those things through vegetables. We can still get that through nuts. We can get all of that, but you have to be aware because beans are really hard for your body to digest. So when people start giving up meats, and they're not, because I don't eat chicken every day either. I don't eat chicken every day. Like maybe twice this past week, I ate chicken because my mom made chicken and noodles. So I had to have some of mom's chicken and noodles homemade. And then she made these little chicken croissants with a little bit of cheese. I just have to really minimize this stuff that I'm putting in my body. And so she'll say, well, I'm making this tonight, but you probably won't eat it. And so I'll just have my shake and I'll say, no, thank you. And I still don't even sit and eat with them because it's still temptation sometimes. So I just do my thing. I put a whole banana in my shake to give it more flavor. Chicken was always one of my favorites anyway. But my family eats a lot of pork chops. Like in the summer, they cook on the grill, pork chops, burgers, all of that stuff. So I just have to make do with what I have and meet them halfway. I can't be super picky about stuff, but to the point where it's making them feel bad. But my mom does go out of her way to try to cook things that I would like to. So I'm probably going to, I used to love tuna, and Aldi had albacore tuna that's the chunks, like it doesn't look anything like chicken of the sea or any other of the Starkist tunas. Those are like all shredded up. No, these were big chunks of tuna. But with everything going on right now with animals and all that stuff, I would really just rather go natural. Even my shakes, because it can, the powders, I got them on Amazon and they're really not that expensive. And it's a whole month supply. But I pray over them when I get them, because I don't know who touched them, what kind of energy they had, all of that stuff. So I make sure that I am very aware of what I'm putting in my body now more than ever, because my health depends on it. I have to do it like my life depends on it. And if I want to be healthy and being able to do the things that I want to do in life, then that's very important. So I am going to get off of here. I will be back. Let's go ahead and say about 11 for One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. I'm surprised this is going through so well. How great that it's not buffering, because it is icky outside today. So, oh goodness. So I'll come back at about 11 and do One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. And then we'll see what happens this afternoon. I really doubt I'm venturing out into the pouring down rain. It's really icky, although I do need to go get some stamps. I tried to look on Amazon. I really love just having things delivered when I don't have to go anywhere. So I think I might have to venture to the post office before long and go get some stamps. I like sending cards to people, especially when they're locked up. I don't write them long, lengthy letters, but those $2 for $4 at the Dollar Tree Hallmark cards, love those things. I love those things. Putting a smile on somebody's face for $1. How can you beat that? So I love you guys so much. Much love and light to you. I send you abundant, vibrant, healing love and light from my home to yours. You guys have a beautiful day. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for lifting me up, because I was really like, I've got to get on here and do this, because I could just lay in bed all day. So I got up and did my thing, and we got it done, didn't we? So I love you guys so much. Have a blessed and beautiful day. And I will be back around 11 to do One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. And have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Lord have mercy. Wasn't one to close.